October surprise in the making, and guess who's going to be the culprit? It's going to be XRP. We're going to break it all down for you today. You don't want to miss it. My name is Paul Barrow. Welcome back into Tech Path. Let's get started with our sponsor today, and that is Tangem. This is a great place to get into self-custody, and it's one of the best wallets out there really to try. Go over to Tangem's website. You guys can click on that little Get Tangem button right there. You get the 3-card set. This is the place for you. Go over and use that, and use our link down below. It does help us out. All right. Let's go over to a couple of points today. I want to go over to this first tweet right here. And this is, of course, coming in from Evan. He's out there, Evan Aldo, if you guys know, he's one of our analysts. He's out on the road right now, maybe the start of a little October surprise here, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere too extreme. He's also talking that we may stay a little bit more range bound right now around this election going in. Remember, we're still, what is it going to be, about 35 days out. So this is going to be an interesting month for both crypto and I think also the political side of things. One of the big events, of course, is happening next week. That's October 7th. Let me zoom in on that right there. The deadline looms for the SEC appeal to the Ripple ruling. And I don't know, do you guys think that it's going to happen? Do we get an appeal by the SEC? Drop some comments down below. I'd love to get kind of your feedback. Our team says no, we don't think there's going to be appeal. If there is one, something is out of balance, and we'll see how it plays out. Let's go over to one of the things that is happening this month, and that is Ripple Swell. This is happening, what is it, 2 weeks from now? The 15th and 16th. They'll be here in Miami. And I think this is where they're going to make some major announcements. I also think that there are some hidden things that they're not talking about right now that will be released. So that's what I think could be rolling out. A couple of points are around this, and of course, part of this will be Ripple's stablecoin, RLUSD, we're excited to share. And though they say that they have not received regulatory approval, I don't know, do they have it in their pocket and they're going to maybe wait for the event? I don't know, maybe they don't. And they're just going to be talking about it. We'll see in mid-October going forward. I think this is getting ready to take off. I think we will see this as a major opportunity for liquidity in the XRP ecosystem. And I think it's going to be one to pretty much put them in the driver's seat. One thing to note here is this little note right here, and that is in Dubai Financial Services Authority. They have basically given them a financial services license. So this is going to open up the UAE immediately. I think this is another sector, which I talk about all the time, these growth sectors around the world, the EU, the UAE, of course, what we'll see in Asia, Hong Kong, Japan, which I'll talk about in a little bit, are very key to the growth of not only how XRP rolls out, but I think crypto in general. I want to go to a clip real quick to get into this because they're talking about some of the digital assets and really what are the frameworks of what could be next in mainstream media. Take a look.
Look, there's Bitcoin and there's Ether. Then I'm looking at Solana. There's Ripple below it. What else are we talking about?
Well, the good thing is Ripple seems to be always there on these kinds of notes. And I think this is something we started noting about a year ago. We started seeing Ripple show up a lot more. So these are the kind of things I think that make it into mainstream. But he is right. What else is coming? Well, one thing to be looking for is Axelar. And of course, if you missed out on Chainlink, maybe Axelar is the next potential opportunity here. This article right here, this was Arthur Hayes, talking about this, exploring LayerZero and Axelar as potentially the emerging giants in cross-chain communication. Here's a clip a little bit on Project Gaurdian. This will tie it all together. Take a look.
Apollo, JP Morgan Private Bank, and Wisdom Tree all provided test traditional and alternative investment funds to be tokenized. In order to really connect these networks, we then deployed 2 interoperability solutions, Axelar and LayerZero, where clients are actually moving and settling value, where to date we've actually settled over $1 trillion of notional volume. We found that tokenization could enable a $400 billion revenue opportunity annually for the asset management industry.
All right, so Axelar could be on the cusp of something pretty big. Here's a white paper that she was referencing, and mainly what they were looking at is all these different potentials out there. Axelar was in this, Chainlink, etc. LayerZero, they chose Axelar. So this is a big win, I think, going forward. I want to take a look at another clip here. This clip will go a little bit deeper into Axelar versus Wormhole and LayerZero. I know we're getting into the weeds here a little bit, but just bear with me, kind of follow along. Take a look.
So what's a typical validator quorum look like? Stake weighted, so maybe today is like 40 out of the 75 validators, and we're looking to decentralize more and more over time. But just to give you a sense, I think the next closest competitor, which is Wormhole, has 19 validators. It's fully permissioned, and you need to compromise 12 of them, so like 4 times less distributed. And then there's like some others like LayerZero, some of the ones that got hacked as well, that have a very small number of validators, and often you don't even know. It's like 3-4 validators, and that's it. You can get access to the whole ecosystem, but the other thing you can do is that if one chain breaks, you can cut off the connection there. While with virtually every other bridging solution in the space, they operate in a pairwise manner. So if a chain happens to break, the damage can contaminate to every other chain.
All right, so I want to zoom in on market cap to a couple of these. Wormhole right here. Let's just kind of zoom in right there. You can kind of see fully diluted market cap right around 2.9 billion. Then you take a look at LayerZero coming in also on that around 4.3 billion. And then Axelar right here. So Axelar setting at 672 million. So that's the point right here, is Axelar may be setting up for a huge opportunity here, really related to what the technology, what XRPL is going to be able to do. Let's go into another couple of clips here. One of them I want to get to is how this is going to work with the RWA DeFi chain. Take a look.
The one thing I'm most excited about happening on XRPL is finally opening up DeFi opportunities for XRP. It's the biggest asset with one of the biggest communities that doesn't have DeFi, right? And being able to use this asset productively in DeFi, I think it's going to be a big thing. Once we build this bridge between XRPL and Axelar, we can forward to any other chain like Solana, Ethereum, and so on. So, Ripple obviously has a very unique edge when it comes to RWAs. It's something we're prioritizing now and just bringing new RWAs over to XRPL. You guys have a big edge there, and we can make it probably the biggest chain, right, for RWA.
The token has been able to achieve this level of scrutiny under the SEC and then continued growth with the community without DeFi. So this could really explode in a big way. And if you look at Deutsche Bank, this is one of the banks and why that they actually trust this. So take a look.
As a summary, right, the strength of the blockchain is underpinned by mundane requirements such as a due diligence risk questionnaire that the risk manager, that the auditor, that the compliance, that the legal department can look through and say, yes, with this checklist, I can better understand what you are trying to do in order for me to fulfill my risk manager role. Your reputation is really good, and then with your background in designing Agora, which is a very reputable blockchain itself, it's no-brainer that we should actually be in Project Guardian.
Amazing, and excited to work on this project together.
Likewise too, because we noticed as well that Axelar has been involved in Project Guardian as well. Your Asia visibility is actually quite high. You've got very active engagements there. So we're very excited to be working together with you.
All right, so a good point is that what they're doing with Deutsche Bank is really kind of accelerating the partnerships in Asia. That, of course, is going to lead into what Ripple has already done in Japan for payments. And remember, you'll probably remember this. Let's take a look at this clip.
So now what we are doing in Japan is we created a consortium of more than 50 banks to come together to develop a completely new payments platform or infrastructure powered by Ripple's distributed ledger technology, which basically replaced the existing domestic payments system called the Zengin system, and also can be applied for cross-border payments as well.
So very, very far in terms of the advancement of where we've seen payments, and I think we're going to see Asia, and you hear me talk about this a lot, is that these meccas for blockchain and where a lot of this technology is really going to, I think, accelerate. Asia being one of them, Japan being one of the stars out there. As you guys will remember, we did a video on Soneium, and the idea is that the Japanese are getting behind blockchain, specifically around Soneium, in a huge way. So their support level is over the top versus what we see here in the US, where there's a lot of pushback from regulatory framework. And when you think about that and you look forward to what some of the authorities are doing, take a look at this tweet right here. Here's the digital minister of the Japanese government, of course, being involved in this. And this is the whole vision of where Japan is trying to go mainstream, essentially around what digital assets are going to do in a lot of these kind of technologies. Furthermore, if you look at just the Nikkei right here, continued, very similar to the S&P, but continued movement. We're seeing a lot of liquidity coming into the market. And then lastly, right here, guess who that is? That's Brad Garlinghouse right next to the digital minister right there. Tokyo this week, Japan's leaders are committed to advancing crypto. You get the point. There is partnerships brewing here in a very big way for the future of blockchain. So be paying attention to a lot of these correlated scenarios because they could mean big, big things for XRP as a whole. I've got one more clip here on talking about the Japanese stablecoin. Take a look.
You could be launching your stablecoin a bit faster than most people thought?
Do everything we can to launch this year. We'll first issue it, we expect, in the US, but we think there's opportunity for stablecoins globally. And certainly Japan, as you, I think, probably know, they approved some legislation a year ago that came into effect this year. And so there's a process underway now to do stablecoins here in Japan as well.
So if you're imagining a stablecoin in Japan, what's the time frame?
Well, I think right now Ripple in particular is focused on let's get live with the US dollar stablecoin. Okay. But I think there will be, people will want to hold yen stablecoins, and I think that's only a matter of time. And there's some companies going through the licensing process right now to get live. Ripple, way back in 2016, partnered with SBI, and that's been a really successful partnership for us and for them.
He said a couple of good things there. This is the chart right here, just showing, kind of the money transfer business, how it works. But there's SBI and how Ripple is involved in that. And he also made another statement in that interview right there, and that is that they're really targeted with the stablecoin here in the US, but right behind it, on the heels, we could see something accelerated for Japan, which would be huge. So here's SBI's. Every bank in Japan will use Ripple's XRP by 2025. I mean, we're talking about just next year, guys. So this is a significant opportunity for Ripple. It does mean that this could be something on the forefront for where Ripple could go as a token in terms of XRP. Further into this, of course, just remember, swell event. Now you kind of picture all of this. There's other things that are happening here in Miami almost on the same, well, it's almost on the same day, but it's right after. And what is that? Well, it's Robinhood. Robinhood is going to be doing their event on the heels of the XRP event, the Ripple event. And it's just interesting. They're going to be launching, what do they say? Legendary new trading products. What does that mean? And is there a correlation here? Maybe we're just thinking into this, but is there something a little bit more tied into it? Let's go look. At this event, if you go down and look at the speakers, one of the things you'll note, there's Jeremy Allaire, so this is interesting. Then you go in further, there's Ed Felton, Off-Chain Labs. So these are crypto experts and also leads within their own company. And it's likely that we're going to see something big on the crypto side of things. If you look further into their sponsorships, most of the sponsors are TradFi. But why do they have a bunch of crypto people on there if TradFi is all their sponsorship? That means they're going to be launching a crypto product. So that could be one of the big surprises. Let's take a look at the EU site for Robinhood. Here's the supported crypto. As you'll notice further on down the list right there is XRP supported. What happens if we get a listing for XRP on Robinhood? Could be a big bump and also an opportunity of this all tying together. Last up is the tie into gaming, Readyverse. If you guys didn't watch our Readyverse video, go back and check that out because it kind of explains a little bit more. But their Battle Royale game is now going to be revealing a brand new partnership. This will be going out with Weta Workshop, and this again gets back into interoperability inside XRP. So big opportunities here, definitely across a lot of different areas, including stablecoins, RWAs. You see the extent of what XRP will be able to do. Last up, of course, Root Network. Excited to have Root Network. Native Root coming to Bitmark Exchange. Again, this is going to be moving as well. So this could be another token that could be benefiting from this kind of ecosystem. So you've got Axelar, LayerZero, obviously Root, and many others that could play into this. So just pay attention. We could see something big here in October in the XRP ecosystem. Stay tuned right here on the show. And of course, if you're not in the Diamond Circle, get in right now. It's a great place to get additional content. Follow me on X, @Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.